Hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. In, up, fixed, out. Dobbs does it all. Get great offers on most 2014 and 2015 Chevy models. Find new roads at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. At Xcel Energy Center in beautiful St. Paul, Minnesota. Rather balmy day here in northern Minnesota. Time to check tonight's Dobbs starting goaltenders. And for the first time in his brief NHL career, Jake Allen plays on back-to-back nights. He will go against Nicholas Backstrom, who lifetime against the Blues is 6-9-1. Again, both clubs played last night. The Blues beating Edmonton in overtime, and the Wild won in overtime down in Dallas, 5-4. There is the young defenseman Jonas Brodin. He'll begin things with Ryan Suter up front, Parise, Granlund, and Pominville against the Stastny line. And Oshie and Backes always play well in this building. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And right off the opening draw, the Wild work in, and they are offside.
Well, no surprise here that Ken Hitchcock wants this top line of his, obviously led by David Backes, one of the top defensive forwards in the National Hockey League. And clearly, TJ Oshie starting to feel a lot better about himself with 3 points in that game, but doing all the little things. Finishing his checks, more tenacious on the puck, winning those battles.
Petro fell down. Parise comes in. Allen makes one save, another save, and he covers up as Pietrangelo blew a tire, and Laurent Guy had the puck in alone on Jake Allen.
Yeah, bad edge there for Alex Pietrangelo trying to get out of his zone. Normally that's just a pretty efficient play for Pietrangelo on the right side, and he just overhandled it, then blew a tire there. A quick shot there by Parise, and a good save, and then the rebound attempt as well. Parise might have had a little bit more time. Bad start there for Pietrangelo. We're talking about the 10 shots he had last night. That's a rugged way to start, but he gets bailed out. That's what your goaltender's there for. So good start there against Zach Parise.
That'll get your goalie in the game early.
I always like facing something early on like that.
Not quite that.
As long as you stopped it.
Right. That's the other thing.
Parise set up the overtime game winner last night. What a game he had. 3 assists against Dallas.
As Marco Scandella had the overtime winner, his second of the year. Second overtime goal, by the way. Yeah, as the Blues clear it down the ice. And that's an icing call against St. Louis. Mike Yeo, now in his 4th year, led the team to the second round last year before losing to Chicago in 6.
Against Paul Stastny's Colorado Avalanche.
In the first round.
That's right. Last 8 games, they're 6-2-0. The previous 14, John, started out of the gates humbly, 7-7-0.
But as you said, they have won 2 straight and 6 of 8. Now a pass in front and a quick shot by Coyle.
What a play by Coyle.
That was just wide.
What an effort, huh?
What a little spinorama by Charlie Coyle. Now the Blues at center ice. It is Tarasenko, Laterra, and Steen. The Blues made that switch midway through the game last night, switching Steen and Schwartz. Now Koivu back at his own line. And now moved along by Scandella. And that's dumped into the Blues' end as both clubs make changes on the go. Last year, the Blues won 4 of 5 against the Wild. Here's Carl Gunnarsson. Now on for Schwartz. Long feed tipped along by Joachim Lindstrom. And now Suter back to get it. He gives it up. Centering pass intended for Schwartz, broken up. And now the Wild with it. And Jonas Brodin, their first-round pick in 2011.
We'll see if the Blues can hem them in their own zone. Minnesota Wild veteran winger Thomas Vanek makes a bad pass in his own zone behind the left D, and that caused Minnesota to regroup there as we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game early on in this contest. You've got to play an intelligent positional road game. And you know that Minnesota coming off their game last night as well, but they got home ice in the last change, and it's going to be physical pressure against Suter and Brodin, who return last night. He played 22.5 minutes in last night's game. In his first game back from the mumps.
That has affected both teams. More so the Blues.
And Anaheim. It's a triangular effect going on.
And they're all blaming each other as the source. Here's Oshie's shot. That is juggled a bit by Nicholas Backstrom.
There's one common denominator. It's Nate Prosser.
Okay, right. Yeah, he was signed by the Blues and picked up on waivers
by
the Wild before a preseason game in St. Louis. And now number 14 is Justin Fontaine. And he is worked over by Jackman, who left last night's game, but quite obviously is all right to go tonight. Now the Wild with it. Ryan Carter to the line now for Keith Ballard. And Ballard's shot. And that bounces wide. And then collected by Pietrangelo. And the Blues to center ice. The healthy scratches tonight. Magnus Payarby. And Lindbohm, who's been recalled from Chicago, as now we get some pushing in front of Backstrom.
Lindbohm recalled as a concern because of Barrett Jackman blocking that shot last night and missing a large part of the game last night. So the one thing that you can count on, that Barrett Jackman will give it everything in his power to get back into the lineup, as that shot was blocked right in front of his goaltender with Teddy Purcell right there on the doorstep. And Jackman hobbled around, tried to come back a couple of shifts, hobbled back. But he got the tracksuit on, the sweatsuit on this morning, and went for a little twirl on the ice and deemed himself available to go. Otherwise, Petteri Lindbohm was there.
It will take a lot more than that to keep Barrett Jackman out of an NHL game.
And Jay Bouwmeester has been put on IR, retroactive to his injury, the night of his injury.
And we mentioned the pregame show, Steve Ott suffering a groin injury last night, is not on the trip. Now back is the aforementioned Prosser. And the puck to center. Gobbled up by Shattenkirk. He'll sail one back in behind the Minnesota goal. And now they battle away for it. Chris Porter knocks it out of the pack. And now picked up by his good buddy, Zach Parise. As the Blues make a change here. Now Ballard, who is one of 11 Wild players that played U.S. college hockey. He went to Minnesota. And now Granlund tips it down the ice. And that's an icing call against the Wild.
Well, you want your fourth line to get started, especially with the way that Steve Ott was playing. Physical, fighting, leading by example. And now Porter jumps in. Porter is very, very good on the attack. He's very good as the first forward in. And he gets on the hunt, and he finishes his checks. And he can skate like you read about. So right off the hop, you had Ryan Reeves with a big hit behind the net on Prosser. And then second guy in was Porter.
Porter had been a healthy scratch for 8 straight before tonight. But he said this morning, Darren, he has never missed a game here in Minnesota since he began his career with the Blues in 08-09 when he's been up with the club. So he always plays well and plays well here. It has about 20 family and friends on hand from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Including his mom and dad, Gordon Debbie, are here.
Yep.
And a shot by Laterra, and that was blocked, and now picked up by the Wild in Pominville. Scandella now into Parise. That shot wide on the short side, comes around, Steen tips it, and now the Blues with numbers the other way, Tarasenko. He works in, drop pass, and then back in front to Tarasenko, but it never got to him as Berglund tried to make that last pass. And Jaden Schwartz flips it in. And Backstrom tees it up back of the goal. Now played for Scandella. And at the line, that's chipped to center ice by Koivu. And then Jackman back for Berglund. And he lost the handle, but now it's offside as Schwartz stole the puck, and we get a stoppage.
Well, the Blues look like they had an odd man break going up against the Minnesota Wild, and Tarasenko gets the pass, skate to stick. Tarasenko, the hero in last night's game. Now he waits and waits and waits and wants to drop it off, but he doesn't recognize that there's backside pressure. Parise was coming back real hard, so there wasn't as much time as Tarasenko thought there was going to be. I mean, I think if he saw that up the side of his, if he had an eyeball on the left side of his head, which he normally does, he would have fired that puck on his own, knowing that there was too much pressure on Laterra from behind.
Now the Blues enter the zone. Here comes Berglund for Lindstrom, a shot, and that goes well wide. And now Charlie Coyle gets it for the Wild. And ahead for Jason Zucker, who had a goal last night. Former second-round pick in front. Koivu with it. Backhander. And a save by Allen. And then Koivu again on the cycle. Good read there by Ian Cole. And Cole takes over to his partner Butler. On to center ice, Lindstrom to the Wild line. And Kyle Brodziak drops it back. Now Suter, his feet up the middle for Brodziak. To Niederreiter. And then Vanek a drive. That goes wide. And the Blues get it off the inboards. And here comes T.J. Oshie. Into Stastny. Back for Oshie. That was picked off. Good stick there by Scandella. Brodziak wheels into the blue zone. Gets by the hip check of Shattenkirk.
Good support there by Gunnarsson.
And now knocked to the corner by Stastny. And Shattenkirk with it. Nice pass on the tape of Oshie and ahead to Backes. To Minneapolis Data. To Stastny. The shot. And that's caught by Backstrom. And we get a whistle.
Well, Tarasenko's game against Edmonton last night was relatively quiet until he does what he normally does, as he did in Dallas in his first career hat trick, and scoring in overtime to win that on that wicked wrister there. This one here, a little cutback move, 4-on-4, brings it to the forehand, dances the defenseman Schultz and rips it over the blocker of Ben Scrivens.
Aaron, here's how perceptive this young man is. I was on the bench with him this morning before the Blues team meeting. He was the only guy out there. There was one player on the ice for the Wild. He didn't have a number on his uniform, and he looks over and says, oh, that's Matt Cook. He knew right away. Then he looks up at the scoreboard and says, oh, they have a new scoreboard here at Xcel Energy Center. I mean, the guy gets it.
Yes, he does. That's great stuff.
Now the puck to center ice. And Ryan Reeves. He bowls over a Wild player. Porter after it. Puck played ahead. Now Pietrangelo pinching in.
That's a good pinch right there.
And then Ryan Reeves. Hitchcock was praising his effort this morning. That fourth line of the Blues has been superb in the last 10 days or so. Deep slot now for Pietrangelo. Handed back to Jackman now for Lapierre. Off the bench, Tarasenko, a shot, and that hit something went wide.
Yeah, big battle in front, too, between Steen and Ballard.
And now Tarasenko. Long pass off the skate of Steen, and then grabbed by the veteran Koivu. 7 minutes gone in the first period. Shots 5-1 for the Wild. Now Ballard ahead, on the wall for Zucker. And he goes again, deep behind their own goal. Suter to Zucker. Good play off the boards, into the blue zone. And now for Coyle, but a good defensive read there by Shattenkirk. And he's thinking offense. Shattenkirk down his off wing. Then a shot, and that hit a stick, and it sails into the netting. And we get a stoppage. Scoreless in the first period.
Well, Porter, Lapierre, and Reeves getting involved early on in the game, and that's what you want, especially after back-to-back nights. You need a four-line rotation, but you need to know that everybody's ready to go. Right off the hop, Reeves just runs over Minnesota Wild player. Then there's Nate Prosser there. Good hit on the forecheck from Chris Porter. Got to continue to roll, keep the puck in deep, manage your shift. So the one thing you can't do is get hemmed in your own zone or take bad penalties. There's a lot of responsibility. It's a tough job being a fourth-line player. Always have to be ready on the bench. You're not getting the kind of ice time as the top two lines are getting.
And for the second time in 7 games last night, the Blues did not take a minor penalty. Now it is Parise. Played on to Pominville. And now around for Granlund. He'll circle the Blues goal. Mikael Granlund back to the line. A drive by Brodin. That was tipped by somebody wide. Now Suter funnels one to the far side. Schwartz after it. Gets there ahead of Brodin, but it's kept in by the Wild. Pominville. And the tough angle shot was wide. Now centered off Berglund's skate. Wild with their top line on the ice. Pominville to Suter. Suter the shot. Hit a body and trip was just wide. And Ian Cole around. Now for Lindstrom. He'll chop it, now pick it up. Bill Berglund, if he could have blocked that rolling puck, the Blues might have had a 2-on-1 there. Remember, next Friday, December 5th, is the deadline to purchase your personalized commemorative brick for the new Hall of Fame Plaza and receive your certificate of ownership in time for the holidays. Plus, when you purchase your brick by December 5th, you also get 2 free tickets to either the December 9th or 11th home games. That's a great deal and a great program. Now Berglund on the faceoff against Koivu. Berglund wins it. And Scandella can't hold it in on the left point. Blues trying to make a quick change. Now Spurgeon, who is celebrating his 25th birthday tonight. Jackman up the middle.
He's a smart, smaller hockey player, that's for sure. Had a rough one last night. He was on the -3 side of the ledger, but boy, is he a good one. Minor penalty here coming up on the Minnesota Wild as TJ Oshie's holding his mug right now. He's making sure everything's in order right there. Boy, did that daze him. What an excellent game TJ Oshie had last night, but Scandella, who's celebrating a new contract. The Minnesota Wild, their general manager, Chuck Fletcher, announced that just before the game. And there's a boom right there with the left shoulder. And Scandella, oh boy, TJ Oshie's going off. That looked like it might have got him right on the button with that shoulder. It's an illegal check to the head is the call. You cannot target the head. You cannot propel yourself upwards and target the head, like Scandella just did right there on TJ Oshie. Scandella just signed a 5-year, $20 million deal prior to the game. It's had a good start to the year, but that's not a good hit right there.
And he was concussed in this building last year in the last regular season visit by the Blues.
One of the main problems with those hits are the size of the shoulder pads. Everybody talks about the goalie's equipment, which I agree is massive and overly big, but just how hard these elbow and shoulder pads are. Looking for the puck, looking for the puck. I mean, Scandella's got nothing to do with the puck right there. He's not looking for that puck whatsoever. Launched himself upwards. I don't like the hit. I don't like it at all.
So the Blues in the power play, third best or fourth now best in the league at 23.5%. Here comes Brodziak in, a shot, and that's blocked by Shattenkirk. Minnesota, very good penalty killing club, second best, 88.4%. Now the puck in the zone, swatted back down by Brodziak.
Tough little backhand play by Alexander Steen. He had gained the zone, so he did all the work to gain the zone and then tried a little backhand pass that got picked off.
Now the Blues to center, 1:05 to go in the power play. Stastny dances in. Played around to Pietrangelo, but he couldn't get it off the boards. And back into Blues territory.
You can see now why the home penalty kill of the Minnesota Wild is ranked #1 in the NHL.
Allowing only 2 goals on home ice this year. Here's Backes. Trying to get the puck free from a pack of Wild players. And it does come back to Cole. And across to Pietrangelo. Long wrist shot. Backes the rebound. Now Backes centers it. And a diving play to hold it in by Cole. Nice play by Cole. Stastny on the wall, centered there by the Blues, but Berglund's pass is picked off and then fed down the ice by Zucker.
And Zucker and Backes have a little whacking going on right there, and they exchange words as they go off for a change.
And a dozen seconds left in Scandella's minor. Tarasenko a pass. Across the ice for Jori Lehtera. Shattenkirk. Now for Gunnarsson. Lets it go. That hit a stick. Comes in front. Tarasenko is there. He jams away, but it's covered. Oh. And now Tarasenko is worked over by a couple of players.
Jori Lehtera jumps right in there on Erik Haula. That's a bunch of Finns going on right there. 4 Finns on the Minnesota Wild. And Lehtera takes exception to his line mate and sniper Tarasenko getting bowled over. Well, Jori Lehtera jumps in there to help out Tarasenko. I kept waiting for a wild call as well, because watch Haula. I mean, he's given Tarasenko the once-over right there, so Lehtera jumps in, then Brodziak jumps on top of him. Hard to believe that there is just one call there, but here's the hit there by Scandella. I mean, clearly there's a player not looking for the puck at all, and he launches up right there, and then he gets him with his left shoulder right on the button, right on the chin of TJ Oshie, who has not returned just yet.
Derek, could that hit get a look from the league?
Every hit gets a look from the league, huh? And that one clearly is one. Anytime the head is targeted, and an injury is a result of it, then absolutely, yes.
Wild power play, not very good at all, under 9%, 29th in the league.
Because I think that Scandella can go through the chest in that area instead of going through the head.
Minnesota's first power play tonight. They were 0 for 1 last night in Dallas. And last year, 0 for 19 against the Blues. So tipped by Parise on goal. Then a save by Allen. Then fired down the ice by Shattenkirk. Here's Porter after it. And he is wiped out by Suter. Koivu up the boards. And now Zach Parise gets it free. In for Koivu. Dropped off to Vanek. Vanek in the slot. Pominville off his stick and hammered down the ice by Porter.
Good shift by Porter, and a really nice read there by goaltender Jake Allen on that deflection. Kind of a shot pass right there, and he sealed his right pad along the ice. Made it look easy.
Now 45 to go in the power play. Here comes Niederreiter. Play to the corner for Coyle. And then Scandella across for Spurgeon. In front, off a skate of a Wild player. Now Spurgeon gets it. One-timer, blocked by Jackman.
Oh, that's got to sting, huh?
Off the stick of Scandella.
He's got to be thinking sometimes, am I going to block another shot? But look at him. He's hunched over now. He's in a great deal of pain. That does not bode well. And there he goes.
Berglund gets it high and over the head of Spurgeon and down the ice. And Jackman will limp off.
Fearless.
And you wonder if it's the same spot on the ankle or foot. Laterra due back in 5 seconds. Jason Zucker, he'll cruise in. Minnesota one shot on that power play. And now banked off the boards by Shattenkirk. And near the line, Brodin gets it back to the Blues line. That's tipped by Gunnarsson, played by Allen. Allen has never faced the Wild in his brief career. Tarasenko, a nice pass. Into the zone for Gunnarsson. Down low, Laterra. Trying to get away from Brodziak. Puck near the front of the goal. Knocked back. Now on the wing for Cole. Played on to Steen. And he battles against Brodin. It comes free. Suter has lost his stick here. And it's tipped to center ice.
That's why that was a very good read by Butler to get in there.
And now Tarasenko back in the zone. Through the slot. Then a shot. And that was up high. Maybe off the glove of the goaltender Backstrom. And the puck lifted to center ice. Recovered by the Blues. Schwartz. And he'll snap it right back in there. Comes around to Prosser. And the Wild smartly to center ice. Pominville to Granlund. And he lost the puck to Schwartz. And he comes back in 2-on-2. Schwartz for Berglund. Berglund down low on Prosser. With under 6 to play here in the opening period. No score. Now Parise ahead. That's tossed in by Pominville.
I don't understand that. Pominville had control of the puck, and then he just laid a little chip to himself.
And then Lindstrom, look out, a pass almost picked off by Haula, but now recovered by the Blues, and Schwartz back for Jackman, who's right back on the ice. And his pass to center, worked on to Stastny down the wall. Porter cuts in, a backhander, and a pad save there by Backstrom. On a nifty little backhander by Porter in the scoreless first period. As the Blues begin a stretch of 3 Central Division games in the next 6 days.
And now Jaden Schwartz up there on this line with Stastny and Backes, with TJ Oshie still not back on the bench after that hit.
And the faceoff won by Stastny, back for Cole. And around for Schwartz. Hit by Scandella, now grabbed by Koivu. And he goes the other way for Spurgeon. And that feed to center. That goes by Cole. Was not tipped by the Wild player, so an icing call.
Well, Barrett Jackman is just an extra goaltender on that ice. He has been throughout his career. There's a little turned in the old left boot right there, and he made a nice kick save and a beauty, although it stung like you read about, I'm sure. And then the next shift, he hops right back on the ice, stops. Pominville lost a little control, then Granlund does as well, and the Blues are on their way going the other way, and they got a pretty good chance on goaltender Backstrom.
And off the faceoff, the puck to the Blues line, grabbed by Shattenkirk. Now for Gunnarsson. Oh, that pass off the mark.
It's a little bit sloppy on both sides to begin, as you can well understand. Imagine this one's going to heat up, though.
Both clubs got to bed about 2 a.m. early this morning after flying into St. Paul. Now Backes, back of the goal, lost it. And Koivu, one-time Wild player, drafted in the first round back at 01. Now played on for Shattenkirk. Backus swings and misses. Now it's picked up by the Wild. Niederreiter. Allen at the plate over right to the Wild player. Now centered. That's blocked by Backus. And he sends it around for Shattenkirk.
Should be an advantage, though, for back-to-back nights for the defenseman, for Jake Allen and his puck-handling ability. Because Jake is very good at it.
Well, some of the most important teammates of the St. Louis Blues never strap on the skates. Watch Beyond the Ice for an inside look at the team physicians dedicated to their job of keeping our beloved Blues healthy and on the road to victory. Beyond the Ice, Wednesday at 9:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
Well, lace up the old boots, strap on the shoulder pads, get her going, huh?
And Butler dumps it in. Prosser turns. That hit Bannock up high. He had the game-tying goal last night in Dallas with about 1:50 left.
His first even-strength goal of the season.
And second overall after signing as a free agent in the offseason. Now the puck at the line bouncing, kept in by Reeves. And handled by Ballard. And that comes up the left wing side. Niederreiter lost it to Cole. His feed intended for Lapierre in on goal. And now played by Backstrom. In each of the last 3 home games the Wild have played, their starting goaltender has been pulled. So they've had some problems, and they almost pulled Darcy Kuemper last night. Now Granville a shot, and that's tipped off the stick of a Blues player into the glass. Now Steen, he took
stick up high.
Yeah, he took a stick up high. No call, though. Jackman, a couple of cross-checks on Parise. Got away with those. And then Pietrangelo spins a Wild player down. Now played back on the line, Brodin. Back on the goal for Granlund. Has some time here. Now in front. And a shot and a stick saved by Allen. On the short side.
That's a lot of time for Granlund.
And now Suter a drive. Glove down by Jackman.
Now he's got a bad hand.
Matches his bad left foot. Now Laterra. In the slot, trying to make a play. He can't. And Granlund starts back for Minnesota. 2.5 to go here in the period. Long shot into the midsection of Allen. And we get a stoppage.
Well, there's no question with that little mini hockey rink that Barrett Jackman has in his basement that his young son Caden fires a lot of pucks at number 5 Jackman, because you can tell, because he's got the technique down. Gloves that one, no problem, and then goes to the bench in a great deal of pain, thinking, what am I doing? I got a goalie back there with all that paraphernalia he's wearing, and I got to block every shot that comes his way.
Does Caden shoot that hard?
Oh, Caden's got to fire it that high. There's no question. He's getting bigger and stronger every day. I noticed there's a penalty box down there as well.
Like father, like son. Now Fontaine back on the goal. Here is Carter. He reverses. Berglund back defensively. And now grabbed by Halla. Trying to make a play. Over for Fontaine. And he's wrapped up by Gunnarsson. Pass back for Spurgeon. And the birthday boy whistles one behind the Blues goal. Now Scandella. And a tough angle. No play to make there. And then Gunnarsson, good stick on him, and the Blues have it. And Berglund will ladle one to center ice. And then shot back in as the Wild make a change in the fly. Shots 8-5 for Minnesota. No score. And Berglund on to center ice. And that sails high over the head of Backstrom. And Suter the other way, the longtime Predator. Down the boards, good play by Butler to break it up. And then Butler gets it back from Porter. And now for Ian Cole. Here's Butler again. Tipped along by Stastny. Porter after it against Brodin. Good board work there by Porter. And then Backus. Played back. Butler the drive, and that was tipped out high to the near corner. And the Blues on it again. Now Cole. He'll pump one back to the goal to Stastny. Trying to center one. Porter gets it back to Butler. Wrist shot. Got through and a pad save by Backstrom. On a tricky shot by Butler. Here's Niederreiter the other way for the Wild. In front. Intercepted by Butler. And now Steen thinking offense here for the Blues. He'll chip to the corner. And a good reverse hit by Steen. Now a centering pass and a shot. Then Backstrom off balance makes the save on Laterra. Jackman, nice speed across. Pietrangelo shooting one. He put that one high. And then Jackman down the wall. Checked by Spurgeon. And now grabbed by Pominville. Here he comes into Scandella. Then a shot. And handled by Allen. And no rebound.
Very good sequence there, both ends of the ice. Pietrangelo just barely missed on that blast from the right side. And gives us a chance now for our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. See Zach Parise with 4 shots already. Won that little redirection with a good save by Jake Allen, and 1 missed shot there by Paul Stastny right off the hop.
And Koivu very adept in the face-off circle. Lapierre actually leads the Blues in face-off percentage, 58.9%. So he's been superb this year.
Yeah, and in that comparison, you can see why Zach Parise would get more shots. A winger, obviously you get fed that way, and you get more shots than a center iceman who's trying to distribute.
And Lapierre is tossed, so Schwartz will take it against Koivu. And Schwartz controls it. And dealt to center ice by Porter. As time ticks down here in the first period. Off the boards, Parise. And a blocker save at the buzzer by Jake Allen.
Jake Allen was strong in that first period. Real good start right off the hop when Pietrangelo lost his footing, and the Wild came in all alone in that first opportunity.
The Blues outshot 9-7 in the opening frame in this big Central Division matchup. No score, Blues and Wild after 1. And a scoreless first period here at XL Energy Center between the Blues and Minnesota Wild. John and Darren's back in the broadcast booth, and we had a couple of power plays and 1 big hit in that period, and we get a report that TJ Oshie, who was the recipient of that high hit by Scandella, is going back on the ice.
And that is very good news. I saw General Manager Doug Armstrong. He headed downstairs, came on back up here, and you know, the one thing you're always concerned about when you get one right on the button is any kind of previous history as well. But the size of these shoulder pads, the launching of Scandella wasn't good. I mean, he comes right up, and the optics of this hit are just not good whatsoever. And for TJ Oshie, he's dazed and confused right there for so long it's not true. He leaves the ice and he slides into the locker room and gets held out, maybe in the dark room for a little bit just to make sure. And, you know, in games like this, when everybody before the game, John, talked about not wading into this game, that the Wild make these physical tests. We saw it in the preseason. We've seen it before. You know, Scandella had a number of shifts right after that, and there wasn't much that went back at him at all. You know, I think it's stuff like that when you stick together as a team. You show team toughness, and you make sure that you don't like what happened against a key member of your team.
Blues Hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Underway in the second period. Oshie is on left wing here with Backes and Stastny. Shot to the line, and a pad saved by Allen. And now Backes up the boards. That's kept in by Suter. That try. Off Jackman, stick it wide. And now the veteran hounded by Pominville. He stole it. Slides it right through the goal crease. And then Granlund down low to Parise. Parise had 5 shots on goal in the first period. Now chased to the boards by Stastny. And that pass hit the skates of Oshie. And now pitchfork to center by Jackman. And now Brodin will send it back in his own zone. Here's Suter's feed. Off Granlund's stick. Blues get it. TJ Oshie trying to dangle into the zone. And he was broken up, and then Oshie hit on Granlund. Wild commit. Zucker the shot, and a glove save, and a beauty by Allen.
What a release by Zucker. Holy jump, and he just brought that onto his forehand and snapped it through traffic, and a quick reaction save there by Jake Allen. I mean, little play there. Look how quickly he takes it from his backhand to his forehand. And no pressure there. He had lots of time to make that happen. I mean, from a goalie's point of view, I would like my defenseman to front that. Make it so that it's way more difficult to get that kind of quality shot that he just had there on Jake Allen. That's a beauty.
Now the Wild win a face-off back for Spurgeon. And then it comes back to the young defenseman around now for Tarasenko, but then grabbed by Kevin Shattenkirk. And he goes for a skate back on the Blues goal. On to Gunnarsson, center ice to Steen. And then Shattenkirk, he'll dart in. Slowed up a bit. Laterra tips it back on the goal. And then Scandella was bumped by Steen. And then Gunnarsson pinches into the left point. Steen back on the goal. Trying to escape the clutches of Scandella. And Laterra helps out now for Tarasenko. His pass back for Gunnarsson. Off the end boards. And then blocked by Scandella. And the Wild come up with it. Here they come to center, Koivu. Now for Spurgeon with Coyle. Oh, and a great save by Allen on Charlie Coyle.
You think the aura of Marty Brodeur here has intimidated Jake Allen? He's an inspired individual, back-to-back nights, showing everybody that he can handle the pressure and the scheduling. 2-on-1 break. Spurgeon jumps up, makes a nice feathery pass right over there to Coyle, and the right-hander just tries to guide it over there on a quick snapper. And what phenomenal positioning there by Jake Allen.
Last year played on consecutive days 5 times was Chicago.
It helped last night, too. Only 16 shots against in that game against Edmonton, the fewest that the Blues goalies have faced all year.
Now the Wild get the face-off. Brodin, the drive, pass, save again by Allen, who a couple of years ago in Peoria, on a few occasions, played 3 games in 3 nights in 3 different cities. As Berglund drifts in. Slowed up by Brodziak. And now ahead for Vanek off his stick. And coming back is Cole. Hounded by the Swiss-born Niederreiter. Now Cole. His pass ahead and kept in by Niederreiter. And then Butler moves it on to Schwartz. His speed, nice pass to Lindstrom. Now a pass back, Butler kicks one to the corner. Now the St. Louis at back of the goal for Lindstrom, now on for Berglund. As the Blues try to execute a change. And Jackman jumps up. He whips it around the boards, Lapierre is there. Steers it back of the cage now for Porter. And then a big hit by Reeves. He buried Howla. Now back on the line, Pietrangelo a shot. Off a stick high. And then Brodin, there's Lapierre a hit. As the Blues try to pick up the physicality here. Now the Wild get the puck to center ice. Howla ahead for number 18, Carter. But Allen hooks one to the far side. Pietrangelo to Jackman. And then on to Reeves. And off the boards and in, and then Reeves ran over Prosser in the process.
Gotta love Reeves' game so far. Really strong.
And now it comes back to Reeves on the wall. And again he knocks Prosser down. That's 3 hits in 1 shift. Is that man strong?
And in good condition. You know, he is a specimen. When you think of the size of Ryan Reeves and his ability to get around the ice, a tremendous skater for a big man. Look out. Here we go right here. Ryan Reeves and Scandella. Ryan Reeves skated right up to Scandella.
And a shot by Parise goes high. And Scandella won't bite. In front, Granlund the shot. That goes high. And now Parise gets free from his man. In front, Pominville. Back on the line. Another shot. In front, Granlund had it but lost it. And then Granlund out of the corner. Pass in front. Spurgeon is there. And another shot by Pominville, and that was wide. I'm not sure if Allen got a piece of that. And now Parise with it. Scandella fires it wide. Spurgeon off the boards. And a good poke check there by Allen.
Allen Marty Brodeur.
And a penalty called against the Blues. Pominville a pass in front. And finally touched by the Blues. And a cross-checking minor has been called.
That was incredible pressure by the Minnesota Wild. Incredible. Only to be shut down by Jake Allen. And there's Ryan Reeves twice in that shift. Now the Blues players are going more and more over towards Scandella. Every single player has made a point. So now Scandella, after having no physical presence following the hit in the first period against TJ Oshie, it seems like every Blues player is at least nudged him, let him know. Ryan Reeves at center ice in that shift went right over to Scandella. Looked like he challenged him to a scrap. Scandella skated away. It was a shot by Scandella. It was a little bit of a wobbler. And then over to Spurgeon. Spurgeon comes in right there, and the little poke check, but the cross check was right there on number 64. Granlund, the veteran Barrett Jackman, the defenseman, likely out of gas completely by that time.
And the Wild 0 for 1 with one shot. Now Steen against Koivu. And it's under Koivu, grabbed by Pietrangelo. Lost the handle, now gets it, and a high hoister all the way down the ice. And Backstrom sets it up, back of the goal for Ryan Suter. Suter lost his dad, Bob, in the fall. Sudden death to Bob Suter, who was, of course, on the 80 Olympic team. Now Spurgeon gets it. Suter on to Koivu. Side of the goal, tipped in front off Allen, and Cole kicked it out. That was going right near the goal line.
Yeah, it was. It was nibbling around the line for sure. Good quick hands there by Cole.
45 gone to the power play. Wild to center. Koivu. Vanek's pass. Hit a Blues player. Back to center. And then drilled back in by Suter. And then Vanek lets it go. Spurgeon down the boards. Now back of the goal. Niederreiter. A couple of 22s there. Shattenkirk for the Blues. And Shattenkirk on his knees. Can't clear it out. And Suter walks the line. Flips it across. Now Spurgeon surveys the situation. Koivu, a pass off a stick, and then punched down the ice by Gunnarsson.
It just exploded off Niederreiter's twig right there. Niederreiter's been outstanding with 11 goals so far this year in 22 games.
It had the overtime winner last year in the first round in Game 7.
It's a heck of a trade here by Chuck Fletcher, getting Niederreiter for Clutterbuck.
Is it ever? Now Coyle gets it back for Suter. On to Pominville. Suter again. The shot bounces off Pietrangelo. And then taken by Cole. And with lots of time, he will send it down the ice. Under 10 to go in Jackman's minor. Wild about shut the Blues 17-7. Here they come again. Granlund. Tough angle. And he is hit hard by Gunnarsson. And now Jackman is back, so the Blues have killed both Wild power plays. Stastny darts in for Tarasenko. In on goal, a shot. His own rebound. And Backstrom made that save. And the Wild to center ice, Brodziak. He'll trickle one to the corner. Then Butler back to get it now for Shattenkirk. Hard off the glass and back to center ice.
Smart reverse there by Butler.
And this is Justin Fontaine. Goes back in a bit, a shot. That's blocked by Butler, loose near the goal. And now grabbed by Steen. Good pass on to Tarasenko, back to Steen. His feet across. Intended for Butler, grabbed by Steen. And on one leg, he can't keep his balance. Now he gets the puck again. And away from his check, Brodin. Stastny down low. Return feed to Steen. And now Tarasenko supports it. In for the point, Pietrangelo, a shot on goal. And a save by Backstrom, and the puck loose for a moment. And now covered. As the Blues respond with a flurry. And Ian Cole may have saved a goal here on that power play.
Nearing the midway point of the second period, Darren Pang alongside John Kelly here in St. Paul. And here's the play by Pietrangelo after Cole had made that nifty little goal line save. Pietrangelo funneling the puck on the net, trying to poke away for it. As we see the single game team leader, the 10 shots on goal against Edmonton, 9 blocks November 13th against Nashville, and just over 30 minutes in that game against Los Angeles. A dominating performance that ended up in a 1-0 shootout loss. But Pietrangelo's game, make no mistake, is really, really picking up. Looks like he's having more fun, more fluidity, John Kelly. Is that the right word?
That's a good word. What did Bradshaw tell him a couple of weeks ago? Just play hockey, right?
Play the game. Yep. Sometimes the structure isn't the one thing you're focused on. Play the game. Use your instincts.
Now Cole trying to race to the wall. Scandella the shot. That goes wide. And chipped along by Schwartz. They head to Berglund. Into the wild zone. Brodziak gets it back the other way. But a good step up there by Cole. Hooks one to Berglund. And he'll whip one in from center ice. Around for Schwartz. He lets it go. Vanek, he gave it up though. But now Vanek gets it back. Up the middle for Brodziak. Pass for Niederreiter. The shot. A low one on goal. Saved by Allen. Blues counter with Schwartz. In this scoreless game. Schwartz late on his shift. And that's stopped by Backstrom, who missed a good portion of last year with a lower body injury. Ended up only playing 21 games. And that's chopped away by Gunnarsson. And we get a stoppage in play.
That allows us an opportunity to give a shout out to this wonderful family right here in our dirt cheap snapshot of the game. And Robert Stalen that you see with the C right beside David Backes. Battled ALS for some time, and we've lost one of the great Blues fans, and we want to just send our condolences to the family, and knowing that that's such a difficult time for everybody and a difficult disease. And you know, TJ Oshie's father, Coach Oshie, is battling Alzheimer's right now and stays in touch and watches every single game that his son plays. So Coach Osh, you know that everybody's thinking about you as well, and everybody else out there that battles these dreadful diseases.
But I echo those thoughts and our condolences to the Stalen family. Of course, TJ and his dad moved to Minnesota when he was a teenager, and he played his high school hockey in Warroad, Minnesota. They went on to North Dakota. Now Brodin to pass. Here's Parisi across. Pominville fires it on goal, and a save there by Allen. And the puck on the boards. Stastny hoists one high to center ice. And then Granlund will hammer it back in. And now Shattenkirk has some ice right up the middle. Shattenkirk to the Minnesota line. Good poke check there by Koivu. Now a long feed for Coyle. Off his stick, he goes after it against Gunnarsson, and Gunnarsson got the best of that. And the puck on the boards. Koivu in front. And now it's Zucker in the corner. Played by the Blues. Backes, nice tip. Little tip pass for Steen. And out to center ice. Ballard back defensively. Tarasenko there for the Blues. He stole it. In on goal, wide open. Waits, shoots, he scores! Tarasenko! And the Blues take a 1-0 lead. Talk about patience.
Surgeon-like for Vladdy Tarasenko. 2 goals in as many games. You can't teach this. These are just great offensive instincts. Patience with the puck, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for players to collapse, faking the shot, going wide. Ballard got lured into the first one. Prosser's there as well on the second one. And the goaltender's biting on that one as well, and he ends up going down prematurely. This is just something else. Little stutter step, and the strength on the stick and the puck to fire it through on the short side.
His 14th of the year. And of course had his second overtime winner last night against Edmonton.
The first Blues player to score on his first 2 NHL shots. And he has continued to roll since that time.
And of course he did that out of the lockout in January of 2013. And he has given the Blues a 1-0 lead, the goal at 10:20.
The kid's special, isn't he?
He really is.
Oh, fun to watch, a real competitor.
Now Prosser a pass. Into the zone for Carter. Trying to step around Shattenkirk. Now Carter in front. On goal, saved by Allen. And we get a penalty here in a hooking minor against the Blues. And a break. Tarasenko has lit the lamp again.
Well, it is not Max Lapierre that's in the box. The referees made the change. That's good communication. It's actually Chris Porter. And on that first play where he goes down, see Carter goes to the net. You see the little wraparound hook? The referee on the bottom right, you can see his arm go up quickly. And that is the call, a defensive zone hooking minor on Chris Porter.
Wild 0-for-2 with 2 shots. The goal by Tarasenko was unassisted at 10:20. His 14th of the year. Steen on the face-off against Koivu. And now they will discipline Parise. And because he jumped in, Koivu is tossed, so Pominville will take it. Steen wins it now for Jackman. He is knocked down by 2 Wild players. Now back on the line, Suter comes across, and a shot hit the goalpost. As Vanek, I believe, hit that far post. Now Pominville to Koivu. Off a stick in front. Cross to the corner by Pietrangelo. Wild get it back. And now Suter with it again. Off the wall, Parise. Down low in front to Koivu. And that pass was too hard for him to handle. And now Vanek again. Pressured by Jackman. And a good read there by David Backes. Steps up and now gets the puck. And he'll flip one into the corner.
That's excellent pressure right there. A really, really good power play unit, too. To be able to time it like that and hound them and outnumber them in that kind of situation. Excellent work there by Backes, Pietrangelo, and Jackman on that far side.
The Blues have killed the last 29 Minnesota power plays going back 8 games. Now it's Shattenkirk back of the goal. 2 Wild players around him now for Gunnarsson. And he can't get away from Parise. And then Vanek, his pass in the middle, picked off by Berglund. And away comes Oshie. With Berglund, Oshie with a great move, then a shot. His own rebound, his second rebound attempt. And Backstrom kept them all out.
Great saves by Backstrom there.
And Granlund back in for the Wild. To Niederreiter. Niederreiter down low on Pietrangelo. And then Jackman helps out. And then Berglund, his clearing attempt hit the Wild player, Scandella. And it stays in the zone. Now Niederreiter back of the goal. 20 to go in the power play. To the line for Scandella. Played across. Now Scandella gets it again. And then down the wing. Scandella out high. Winds up. And that was blocked in front. And someone has a broken twig. Jackman hammers it around off the glass and out. And that's a whistle.
TJ Oshie with a brilliant shorthanded maneuver and a better save by the goaltender Backstrom there. Little cut down play as Vanek just does a little swoop by him and then doesn't stop. And so Oshie's able to take advantage of that. Here's Vanek's short side shot that goes right off the pipe, right by the numbers and the elbow there. And here's the swarming on the PK. So good pressure there on Koivu. And then as Suter plays it right over there to Parise, right away, there's Pietrangelo. Jackman goes in as well. And then Backes ends up getting the puck away from Parise and getting it down the ice.
And what a save right off the face-off by Jake Allen. Another laser-like glove save.
You look around the NHL and rate the goaltenders with gloves. And we talk about Pekka Rinne. He swallows them up like you read about. But this one here, this kid can grab them. He sees pucks. He's an athlete. He's not a blocker of it. And makes a brilliant glove save there on Ryan Suter.
And the Blues are back at full strength, leading 1-0. Wild win another faceoff, but now it's picked up by Cole. And it's center ice. Falling gets it down the ice, and that will be an icing call against the Blues.
As Fontaine is all over Ian Cole. So Cole picks himself up, and the Blues will regroup. Got out of that one. They've been outshot 21-12 so far in this game, after only giving up 16 shots in the entire game last night.
And at the other end, the Blues had 41 shots and 76 total attempts, the most of the year.
Yeah, 41 on net, 15 wide, 10 blocked. It's a pretty healthy number.
Now the Wild play it in. And Butler back first, hooked a bit by Fontaine. And then Laterra comes back to help out. Now Fontaine, number 14. Around for Carter. Carter to the back to Suter. Suter shot, and a good stick there by Lapierre, and it goes high into the crowd.
It's hard to defend with Suter there on that left point, because when he took that pass from Carter off the boards, he walks the line so well. His lateral movement is excellent. And when he goes to the middle of the ice, it looks like he's going to shoot, but then he stops and goes back to his left. So the defending player that thinks they're in the shooting lane is now out of the shooting lane. And Suter, more times than not, is able to get that puck through.
Now the Wild win another faceoff. They were very good in the first period, winning 56%. Now it's gloved down by Stastny, on to Oshie, and ahead to Backes. Here he comes, trying to go right through Scandella. Now Backes a pass in front. That's picked off by Scandella, and he comes to center ice. And that bounces wide of the Blues goal. Gunnarsson. Then Granlund comes in, along with Parise. Granlund on the wing to Pominville. Back for Spurgeon, a shot. Tipped by Parise just wide. And then a hit by Backes on Scandella. Wild steal the puck. Center. And a good job in the slot by Stastny to break it up. And kicked along by Oshie. With 6 to play here in the second period. Here are the Blues in. Granlund trying to clear it away. And the Blues in the midst of a line change can't hold it in. And Reeves rolls it back for Jackman. His feet up the middle. And that's too high for Porter, knocked down. And we get the icing call. Well, voting for the 2015 NHL All-Star Game is going on now, and you can send Tarasenko, Steen, Backes, Oshie, Pietrangelo, Elliott, or your favorite Blues to the game. Vote up to 10 times a day. Go to stlouisblues.com and start voting right now.
Good. Oshie blinked in those eyes as he gets back to the bench. Good shift, good transition out of the zone for that top line.
Oshie last night with his 10th three-point game of his career. A goal and 2 assists. And the face-off controlled by the Wild.
And 21 minutes and 42 seconds of ice time as well.
Now Lapierre in there against Coyle. Comes free to Koivu. Shoots. He scores! Koivu ties the game.
Heck of a shot by the big, strong Finn. Zucker's down below. It's a 2-on-1. Lapierre falls down. And Lapierre being the centerman, Koivu being the centerman right there. Wide open. Good scoring position there. And Koivu lets that one rip. Over the glove, under the bar, maybe even nibbled off the bar and down. That's a great shot.
His first goal in 14 games, 3rd of the year. At 14-26. And that squares the affair at 1. This is kicked down by Jakob Lindstrom. And his pass for Schwartz, broken up by Niederreiter. He'll chip it over the head of Cole. And back against the wall. Now played around for Schwartz. And the Blues get the puck to center ice. Schwartz for Lindstrom. And he can't get anywhere. So Koivu gets the goal from Zucker, and we are tied at 1.
Koivu from Zucker and Coyle at 14-26 for the Wild.
Wild going on a change. Now it's Cole. Long feed to center ice for Steen. Hooks it back for Laterra. And he cruises in. In the slot, Tarasenko trying to make a play, and that was intercepted by the Wild, and now Fontaine. He'll throw it back. Coyle gets the second assist. So Zucker and Coyle in the goal by Koivu. And then Gunnarsson off the boards for Steen. Steen under pressure there from Fontaine. And now Carter hit down by Shattenkirk. We get a whistle and we get...
It didn't look like the referee had his arm up immediately. He watched the play from behind take place, and then I think he saw the reaction of Carter and the reaction of Shattenkirk. And clearly Shattenkirk doesn't mean to do this, but Carter's in a bad spot on his knees. and he goes in there face first into the boards.
And Shattenkirk goes to the penalty box in a 1-1 game here in St. Paul.
I'm Pat Paris, back in our Fox Sports Midwest Live studio at Ballpark Village. Blues and Wild now tied at 1, 4:13 to go in that second period. Coming up, Jack in the Box intermission report of first and second period highlights. Bernie breaks down the Tarasenko goal, and we'll also take a look around the rest of the National Hockey League, all coming up at intermission. John, Darren, back to you in St. Paul.
Some bad news here in St. Paul. The good news is that Ryan Carter looks like he escaped some injury. He went into the boards and he put basically his face up, head up as he went into the boards. And Kevin Shattenkirk, who, as you can see on the left side of your screen, after Carter turns back, because the puck actually hit the referee. And you can see the reaction of Shattenkirk, like he didn't mean for this to happen, but he gives him enough of a nudge and a cross-check from behind that causes the forward Ryan Carter to explode into the boards. They've deemed this a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. Now listen, the fans here giving it to Shattenkirk. He's got 10 penalty minutes all year long, but I mean, no one likes to see any kind of play in front. It almost looked like there was a slight stutter step by Carter as he went in. It almost looked like a delayed reaction, and the referee was there, didn't immediately put up his arm, but clearly you can't hit a player from behind with a nudge like that when his numbers are facing you.
So now it's a 5-minute power play for the Wild, who are 0 for 3 tonight. And Steen gets it, and he whips it down the ice. So Shattenkirk is done. A major checking from behind in a game misconduct. Now Gunnarsson on the boards. 3 Wild players around him. Quayle trying to center it, and that's picked up by Schwartz, and he whips it down the ice. So a big chance here for the Wild, who again, under 9% on the year in the power play.
And a 5-minute major, there's no fiddling around with the puck in your own zone. It's get it down 200 feet and force Minnesota to regroup and try to get it back again.
Now the Wild into the corner, Granlund. They'll feed it around, Parise back for Suter. Pominville on the right point. Now Parise gets it again. Cole defending, back to Suter. Now for Pominville, fires it. And Allen saw that all the way, and he'll make that save 99 times out of 100.
Well, I really like Carl Gunnarsson's hockey sense on this play. And from a goalie's perspective, Gunnarsson did exactly what you would want, and it makes it an easy save for the goalie. Focus on number 4 in the front of the net. I see the way he boxes Vanek out, and Vanek's got no pursuit of trying to be a screen on that play. He made Gunnarsson's job easy, but Gunnarsson left that shot from the right angle and made it for an easy save for Jake Allen.
Niederreiter leads the club with 4 power play goals. They've scored 6 all year, and he has 4. Now Steen after it for the Blues in this 1-1 game. And Scandella gets it back now for Spurgeon. Lapierre lost his stick, he gets it. And now Coyle to center ice. Scandella into the zone now for Granlund. Sets up shop on the far side. Twist one around to Coyle. And then Jackman defending. He can't get it. Now he chases Coyle. Played back for Spurgeon. Tipped all the way around the boards. And then Scandella leaves it for Niederreiter. Niederreiter to Spurgeon. Fans getting a bit restless here. Now Granlund with it. Under 3 to go in the major. Granlund back for Spurgeon. Scandella the shot. And a save by Allen. It's close.
He had it
and lost it. And now Lapierre pounds it up the boards. And off Scandella and now to the Minnesota line.
I think that went off one of the players on the Minnesota bench.
So the Blues overskated at center ice. And Parise back into Spurgeon. Oh, and Allen makes the blocker save on Spurgeon.
Dragged the leg.
Now back to Suter. Lines and fires it, and a save by Allen. And no rebound.
Couple of great moments there for Jake Allen. Won the old lean to the left and dragged the blocker in the leg to the right side. And as we focus in, There's the save right there. Given 5-hole, taking it away. There's Spurgeon's right. Oh, it does. It goes kind of off the top part of the blocker. Maybe the knob of the stick as well. There's Scandella with that shot. And Jake Allen wanted this one here that was loose, but Niederreiter poked it away.
What a sequence.
Oh, your goaltender in this situation has to be your best penalty killer, and Jake Allen has been.
Now 2:22 to go in the major. Puck in front. And where is it? Under a couple of Blues. Gunnarsson to the corner. Lifted ahead by Backes. And now on for Steen. And from his own line, he hammers it wide of the goal. Tarasenko has scored for the Blues. Koivu for Minnesota. Late second period. That's center ice. Here's Pominville across. And Parise drifts in. Banks it back to the line to Suter. Pominville and Suter again. On to Parise. Lets it go. He scores! And it's 2-1.
There's still 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining on the 5-minute major to Kevin Shattenkirk. Umbrella formation at the top. Good movement there by Suter. Gets it over to Parise, the left-hand shot. I thought this hit somebody in front of the net. Not sure if it was Vanek or maybe the arm of the goaltender Allen. It certainly went off his arm. Yeah, I think it went off with Cole, and Ian Cole actually went over to Jake Allen and patted him on the pads after that.
And Parise gets it, his 9th, and it's 2-1. 90 seconds left in the major. And the Blues to center ice. Pietrangelo fires it in. Suter and Pominville get the assist on the goal. So the Minnesota power play, struggling all year, gets a goal here. Then they look for more. Granlund comes in. Scandella, the shot, and that goes wide. Now center. Scandella again, a drive, and that's off a stick and up high into the netting.
Well, you want to change momentum in the game? You go on a 5-minute power play. Scandella had that big shoulder hit on TJ Oshie in the first period. The Blues could not score on that power play. 5-minute major to Shattenkirk and loads of pressure here.
13 seconds left.
Blues have got to be exhausted.
That's the 250th goal for Parise in his career. Now the Wild get it back to the goal. Suter in there. Picked up by Cole. Not out, though. Pominville across, and that'll do it in the end of the second period. And now we have a skirmish.
Yeah, Cole and Vanek in front of the net, and Vanek was going to respond there, and Max Lapierre jumps in. In the meantime, 40 minutes are in the books here at St. Paul. Time for a Plaza Tire Service shot comparison as we look at Vladdy Tarasenko with 4 shots on goal. 2 of them were blocked, 6 total. He's got that one brilliant goal to make it 1-0 at 10:20 the first. And then there's such a great, well-rounded player in Zach Parise with 10 total on net.
Tarasenko is a quarter of the Blues shots in the game. They've been outshot 27-12 and trailed 2-1 after 2.
Well, for Jake Allen, he has been incredible. A real horse in this game. I mean, you talk about the quality of shots that he has faced against this Wild team, and 5-minute major here on Kevin Shattenkirk. Ryan Carter goes into the boards, and so that's a long power play. It's a shooting gallery in front of Jake Allen and the defenseman as well, and the forward. Just a lot of work. And the Minnesota Wild behind Zach Parise finally do score a goal. There's only 47 seconds left here in this 5-minute major.
The Wild are 8-2 with a lead after 2. The Blues are 1-4. That one win was last night when they trailed by this score after 2 against Edmonton. And the Blues off clearing attempt, knocked down in front. Oh, Parise. Let it roll, now back to Pominville. A shot, hit a body in front. Karam's back to Suter. Suter, Parise tipped onto Pominville in front. Just wide of the Blues goal. And now grabbed by Koivu. Deals it back to Suter. Now thrown low, Jackman there. Gets some help from Pietrangelo, picked up by Steen. And he goes to his backhand. That's tough to clear it. Now feeds it around to Pietrangelo. His stick broke. Stick snapped in half. And now Steen without a stick.
Oh!
Soccer style. He kicks it, but not out. And now he goes to get a new stick. Wild in front. And Koivu shot that one wide.
And now Tarasenko out of the penalty box. He served that. But, boy, that was helter-skelter, wasn't it?
Now Tarasenko up the middle. He has scored the Blues goal and leads the Blues tonight with 4 shots on goal.
That 40 seconds of havoc, the Blues had the puck on their stick in control, and Pietrangelo just couldn't get it out of the zone, kind of fanned on it. And that, the result of all that pressure.
Now Laterra in for Tarasenko. Works back of the goal, and a pass back for Gunnarsson. And then Schwartz. So the STL line has been reunited here in the third. Now Tarasenko trying to work off the wall. Pass in front. That goes by everybody. Penalty called here against the Wild.
It's on Granlund, number 64. His stick gets caught up in a hooking manner right on Tarasenko as Tarasenko is buying some time going back to the blue line.
64, 2 minutes hooking.
And so the Blues only give up the 1 power play goal against, trailed 2-1, but have a golden opportunity to put their third-ranked 28% road power play to test. Sticks in the hands, then stick was in the midsection.
And a hooking minor. The Blues 0 for 1 tonight. And their power play ranked 4th in the league.
Minor penalty, Minnesota, number 64, McCallum Granlund. 2 minutes.
Tip to the corner. Prosser gets it. And he whips it all the way down the ice.
41.
And Jake Allen's stick handling a bit. Now leaves it between his legs for Steen. And of course, Shattenkirk is gone for the night after that major in the second period. And he normally occupies the right point. Pietrangelo takes a spot. Stashed into the corner for Backes. Now Prosser there. And he flips it high, and that goes over the head of Steen and down the ice. Allen along, quick pass to center ice. Now Pietrangelo back for Steen. David Backes leads the Blues with 5 power play goals. Steen sets up shot. Tarasenko, and he was checked and then fired away by Ryan Carter, and he puts it over the boards, and we get a whistle.
Blues really have to show some strength in numbers. They've got to manage it in the offensive zone. It's not a time to make those hopeful, wistful passes through bodies. It's a key point of this hockey game, being outshot 28-12 and a chance to tie it up here. Minute 9 left on the power play, JK.
Yeah, the Blues need some shots and some offense. Now Laterra.
He struggled on the dot on this game. He's only 17% after 40 minutes of play. Laterra is so reliable on the face-off dot.
And won't get a chance here, so the Finns are kicked out. Schwartz against Carter. Blues on the power play, down by 1. Schwartz wins it. Carter broke his stick. Now the Blues across. Steen the shot. And that's tipped wide off a Minnesota stick. And now played high and out of play, and we'll have a face-off back in the zone. Well, 3 and 5 game Blues holiday packs are on sale now. 3-game packs start at $99. Buy your holiday pack before Friday, December 5th, and get the December 8th game against Florida for free. Go to stlouisblues.com or call 314-622-BLUE.
Well, for how many times Tarasenko's fleeced the other team's goaltender, got to dig in for that free blanket.
Now Schwartz.
That's what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I appreciate that. Now a pass by Tarasenko, and that was stolen. Howland comes in for Minnesota, and a good defensive play there by Tarasenko. And 40 seconds left in Granlund's minor. Blues to center, Laterra. Steen drops it back, Pietrangelo. Blades it back of the goal. Now Laterra on the half boards, Tarasenko for Schwartz. Great pass to Steen. He comes in, fires it. and that goes high. Missed everything. Now off the boards again. Tarasenko, another shot. That goes wide again. Bounces back to Steen. To Tarasenko. Nice pass, Pietrangelo. And he moves in the shot, and a blocker save by Backstrom. And then Laterra gets it again. Nice pass back. Here's Pietrangelo. On the wing for Steen. He works in a shot. Blocked. And it comes to center ice. Granlund is back. The Blues had one shot on the power play. Now a intentional offside called against the Blues.
Tarasenko is slow getting out of the offensive zone. Pietrangelo tried to move it up ahead, but Tarasenko had not vacated the zone just yet, so an intentional offside call. And here's that first chance by Steen. Watch the blocker there. Just barely, John, glanced off the blocker. Obviously, the goalie can't see that whatsoever. He collapses down low in a butterfly and has his arms to his side. I didn't think the shot selection was the best that we've seen from the Blues, and certainly that tandem of Steen and Shattenkirk to man the first unit on the power play. Obviously, without Shattenkirk, that hurts that a little bit.
But Steen scored a goal from that exact spot against Ottawa in Tuesday's overtime loss. Look out here. Parise with it, a drive, and a good pass save there by Allen. And Parise's been a monster. 7 shots through 2 periods and a goal. Now Prosser tips it along. Cut off by Stastny. Now for Oshie. Ducks by a man back of the goal. Oshie in the slot. To back is a shot. Up high and hit the glass. Kept in by Butler. Around back of the goal to Stastny. Sets up shot back of the net. Turns. Now feeds it. Here's Oshie. Tough angle in front. Little backhander. And that goes through the goal crease. And then Prosser trying to glove it down. Off a skate. Picked up by Keith Ballard. And Ballard to center ice now for Parise. And he'll dump it in. Both teams make changes here. Close to 5 minutes gone in the third period. Blues to center ice. Patrick Berglund on the wing. And a shot by Porter tipped out of play.
Neat little pass by TJ Oshie behind the net to David Backes, who's right on the tape. Oshie's a very, very good playmaker, very good athlete. You can see why he'd be a good point guard in basketball, which he was, all-state. But he saw Backes, the big right-hand shot. It was right on the tape, and Backes just missed high to the blocker. The Blues have really been trying to peck away at that blocker side on Nick Backstrom, the Finnish goaltender.
We saw Backes in his lip. He got 12 stitches in the game in Winnipeg on Sunday, and that cut was reopened by Kyle Turris on Tuesday. So Backes twice had to have his lip stitched up, and he told me the other day, Darren, that was extremely, extremely painful.
Yeah, there's no fun in that whatsoever. None whatsoever. I mean, he got filleted in the mouth by Dustin Byfuglien's stick in Winnipeg, and there was no call. That probably made him even more furious that the referee didn't even see it, and he was right there. And then he went at Kyle Turris because Turris' stick came up high on him in the far corner of the Ottawa game, and then they had a little kerfuffle in practice as well.
Now the Wild off the faceoff.
All fun and games with a cut-up lip as long as it's not us, huh?
And that is an icing call. Fans yell, but Gunnarsson got there first.
But we assume that these players, yeah, cut his lip, he got stitched. We get used to it in our game because these guys are so tough, and they come back and they get back into the game. And you can see here with the physicality of this game here, there's that hit by Scandella. Not a good hit at all. Shoulder to the jaw. And there, Ryan Reeves finishing the check there. Bowls through Nate Prosser there. And then those are our Nissan.com checks of the game. And they're good ones.
Now Laterra against Koivu. And the Finns duel, and Mikko Koivu wins that one. Here's Brodin to center ice. Chipped in by Coyle. Over 19,000 on hand tonight, the largest crowd of the year here at Xcel Energy Center. Goes to center. Dropped in by Pietrangelo. Played by Brodin. For Niederreiter. And then Steen gets it back at center ice to the Blues. And then a hit at the line. Tarasenko goes for a spill. He gets up. And that's dumped in high by Laterra. Bounces in on goal. And scooped up by Backstrom.
Oh, Tarasenko trying to get out of the way. Little lower body on lower body right there, but Tarasenko heads off. The game breaker gets a rest here. He just a little stutter step one way or the other. Good hit actually on him right there. Was there a little bit of leg there?
I think there was.
Yeah, maybe there was. When I first glanced at it, I thought it was the shoulder hits first, you know, and it looks like the knee, but yeah, there it looks like a little bit of a thigh, knee, on thigh.
Now Oshie off the face-off. Jams to the corner against Spurgeon. Now Backes comes in. And it pops to the near side. Oshie trying to hold it in there. And it's lifted out by Spurgeon. Bounces down in the area of Ian Cole, who takes cover back of the Blues goal. For Backes. And his pass tipped a bit, but Gunnarsson gets it. As the Wild send one forechecker in deep here. And a pass by Backes off the skates of Stastny. Now Backes gets it again, but it was an offside. And a break in the action. 13:38 to go in the third, and the Wild up by 1. All right, Pat, thank you very much. Face off at center ice.
And not before David Backes, though, drills Scandella with a good hit there. The puck was behind him, and the support was on as TJ Oshie goes to get the puck. And Scandella and Oshie collide once again in this game.
Scandella, as you said, the nephew of former Blues Sergio Momesso. And the face-off won by the Wild. Now blocked by Pietrangelo. Gets some help there from Lapierre. Lapierre, Porter, and Reeves here for the Blues. That's tipped to center. Reeves and Carter duel for the puck. Now Porter for Lapierre. Drop back. And then Butler for Pietrangelo. Now Butler up the boards for Reeves. He tips this one in deep. And Backes sets the table back of the goal. And the Wild don't waste any time and clear to center ice. Now Pietrangelo for Reeves. In deep for Porter. Around for Lapierre. Can't move it in front. Kept in by Butler for the moment. Now muscled to center ice by Fontaine, but recovered by the Blues. Shots in the game, 29-14 for the Wild, who lead 2-1. Now Pietrangelo. Backstrom tips one to the corner. Here comes Steen after it. And he is pinned by Suter. Laterra there. And he goes down. Puck picked up by the Wild. They give it up, though, and now Tarasenko in. Here he comes, and a goal. And a pass saved by Backstrom on Tarasenko, who just darted back in the slot. What a chance there. Now Ian Cole. Down the wall for Tarasenko. Through his legs, to his skates now. Back of the goal for Steen. In front of shot. And Laterra. And it's stopped by Backstrom. Oh, what a save there.
Ian Cole was nibbling away. Ryan Suter grabbed him. A little reverse pass there. Going one way, feeding it the other way after Tarasenko had to be real nimble on the blue line, just inside on the left part of the blue line to keep that puck in. And what a pass by Steen. Holy jumping. That's a beauty right there. I do not know how Backstrom kept this out. Side of the body, swung his glove around. It was loose. So, you know what? That was a loose puck that Cole had, and then Cole's poking away at that one there. You can see the black tape of Ian Cole's stick. But they can't get it by Nick Backstrom.
So that is the save of the night by Backstrom.
Awkward looking one, unorthodox, but he did whatever he had to do to keep it out. What a pass by Steen.
And he remains on the line with Laterra and Tarasenko. And Laterra against Koivu. Koivu, their best face-off man, at 54% wins it. And Suter to center ice. Now Zucker down the boards. Trying to get away from Steen. Tarasenko back. Plays one in front of his own goal now for Gunnarsson. On to center ice and then slammed in by Jori Laterra. And the Blues making a change on the go here. Suter to Koivu. Steps around Schwartz. Koivu, tough angle. forced back of the goal. And a shot. That was blocked by Jackman. And here come the Blues the other way. Jackman now for Schwartz. Out there with Berglund and Lindstrom. And Scandella to the corner. 2 Blues around him. And then Berglund seals the wall. Schwartz deep slot for Lindstrom. Fires a shot well wide. Comes around to Pietrangelo. Little short pass to Berglund. Off the wall, Schwartz. He turns and fires it. And that's swallowed by Backstrom and no rebound.
That went through the legs of Lindstrom. A very good shift for this line of Schwartz, Berglund, and Lindstrom. Lindstrom just spread the old legs, try to make a screen there on Backstrom, and Backstrom gets it right in the midsection. Schwartz is running out of real estate. He can't play it to Pietrangelo. There's not enough room. So you fire it at the net. That's the way you do that with Scandella and Lindstrom battling in front. But it goes clean through, right in the belly.
Shots are 5-2 for the Blues here in the third. Now Pietrangelo a shot. Hit a wild player in front. And now Brodin to center. Oshie comes over. Good hit on Brodziak, and it ends up back of the Blues goal. Played by Allen for Gunnarsson to Pietrangelo. Now Backus gets it to center ice. And that goes high, deep into the zone. Oshie back of the goal. Wraps up Brodin, but he gets away. And the young defenseman out of center ice for Brodziak.
It's offside.
And the linesman makes the call.
It's amazing that Vanek would go offside in that situation in an odd man break.
Well, missing Cardinals baseball. Catch Cardinals Legends Wednesday at 6:30. We sit down with members of the 96 Cardinals as they look back at that playoff season. Cardinals Legends Wednesday at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. And the Laterra line back on the ice. Face-off one back to Cole now for Butler. On to center for Steen. Trying to slide one through for Laterra. And that's broken up. The Blues want it at center ice again. And now Tarasenko. He scored the only Blues goal. Nice pass in for Steen. Down the middle. Tarasenko turns. Off balance. Puck in front. Wild Havoc can't clear it. Knocked down by Steen. Now to Tarasenko. Slides it through in front to Steen. A shot. Gets it again. To Tarasenko. And his shot was blocked. And the Wild the other way. 3-on-2. Erik Haula. And that's off the glove of Jake Allen. And the Blues clear to center ice. And now it bounces back in the zone for Ian Cole. 9:30 left, third period. And Patrick Berglund gets away for the Blues. Knocked down at center ice, now grabbed by Schwartz. Down the boards, going wide on Prosser. Schwartz drops it. Berglund another drop pass. Gunnarsson across to Pietrangelo. And he makes a move. Upended. And Berglund trying to hold it, and he does. For Ryan Reeves. Played on to Schwartz. Out of the corner to Pietrangelo. Long shot. Berglund can't tip it. Now Berglund gets it. Blues have had a nice push here in the third period. Now Berglund turns and fires it on goal, and a pad save by Backstrom. And a stoppage with 8:51 left, and the Blues down by 1.
Oh, Vladdy Tarasenko's got his 14th goal of the year, unassisted at 10:20 of the second period, and it's our Mazda drive to the net. Stutter step one way, fake the shot, stutter step that way, and he will not be denied scoring the first goal of the game here in Minnesota. The last shift, there's Tarasenko busting through a bunch of green sweaters, turns, spins, falling, pushes the puck towards the net, gets himself up, shakes it off a little bit, gets it back again, and here he goes, trying to feed it through, hits the pad of the goaltender in Scandella, and then gets it back again at the tail end of the shift, and that ends up getting blocked by Fontaine.
And he's back on the ice again. Wild win the faceoff. And play to center. Zucker gets it deep. Here's Butler back. And now Zucker to the far side. Steen. And Pietrangelo to get it free. And the puck on to center ice. And then fired back in by Coyle. Butler under some heat there from Coyle. Now Tarasenko can't move it ahead. Butler and Zucker go shoulder to shoulder. And now Coyle comes up with it for Jason Zucker.
Let's go!
And he is rubbed out by Laterra. Good shift here by the Wild. Zucker with it in the slot. Koivu, one shot, another shot, and a great save there by Allen.
Beautiful reaction save with the blocker.
And the puck to center ice and then fired back in offside.
Hard to figure out where that puck's going to go because it looked like to me it was wobbling a little bit. So it wasn't flat where you got a better indication of where it's going to come off the stick. But there it flutters, and yeah, definitely on end. And what a terrific, terrific response there by Jake Allen. This gets to 3-1. You'd wonder if there's enough in the tank to come back. That gives the Blues every opportunity to come back now with that save.
And he was brilliant in the second period despite allowing 2 goals.
Outshot 31-18 here.
Now Oshie down the boards. Stastny trying to knock it out of midair. He does. And now Parise will tip one the other way.
Tough enough on those back-to-backs, and then you lose a defenseman that plays 23 minutes a night in Shattenkirk.
Tipped in front. Glove save by Allen. And of course, Shattenkirk is one of the top offensive-minded defensemen in the NHL. Came into the game with the fourth most points among defensemen.
Yeah, quick little passing play here. They use that high slot extremely well, and you can see that quick pass by Pominville right on the tape to Parise, and it's hard to find that puck through traffic from the goalie's point of view. Minnesota's done it at least a half a dozen times in this game. First shot of the game, one of the first shots was that same play that Allen made a good right pad save on Parise.
Now the Wild win a face-off. Brodin at the line, a shot on goal and a save again. Allen saw that one all the way.
Brodziak's been good on the face-off dot, number 21 for the Minnesota Wild. Right-hand shot going into the third period. He was right around 78%. Here he goes up against Schwartz. So it's back to the winger, and Vanek's able to play it back to the point. And you see the position of Allen. He had no trouble with that long blast whatsoever.
And Laterra against Brodziak. Face-off control by the Blues. Cole with 7:25 left. A reverse there. It almost came in front of the net.
That Billiard bank shot.
And now it's picked up by Butler. Center ice for Steen. Spins off a check. And trying to find some room here into the Wild zone. He goes down. Brodziak with it. And the Wild up the ice. Brodin drops it off. In front, Niederreiter. Now a shot on goal by Vanek. Allen there. The net comes up. He's got it under the pad and a whistle.
He had to do a really good job to swing that right leg underneath the left leg and keep that puck out. Referee's on top of it the whole way. Graham Skilleter, the Saskatchewan native, with Kevin Polak. And there's Alexander Steen on a 1-on-3. Trying to beat the 3 guys. It ends up getting turned over and going the other way. Good save there by Allen. Here's the play. It's just on the goal line. Oh, does he ever do a good job? Does he ever do a good job with his right pad?
And the Blues from the face-off. Working on to center ice. Now Scandella has it for the Wild. Broken up by Oshie. Can't get it in. Spurgeon has it. Here he comes. Winds up and fires it. And a save by Allen. It bounces up in the air. Now comes back of the goal.
Dangerous. That one off the stick of Ian Cole.
Wrap around by Coyle. And a save by Allen again. And the Blues and Oshie. Center ice, Stastny. Now Schwartz. His feed blocked. Stastny on his knees gets it. Into Schwartz. Trying to find some room against Spurgeon. Now Schwartz back to Gunnarsson. And that shot pops up in the air. Koivu held in though by Schwartz. Pinballs around it, now grabbed by the Wild. And lifted ahead by Fontaine. He gets it by Pietrangelo. Now Fontaine back on the goal against 2 Blues. Comes back to Brodin. Fakes the shot. Now across to Suter. Suter a wrist shot. I think that hit Oshie went wide.
Or Carter coming up in the high slot again.
Tip to center ice for Oshie. 1-on-4 here. Can't make a play. Kept in though by Berglund. To Backes. He scores! Oh, thank you! Thank you!
inside the zone by Berglund. An inch or two more and it's outside. The play would be dead. Instead, Berglund makes the play. The Wild think it's going the other way. Backes goes high into the bar. There's the play by Berglund. Heads up pass, quick release, under the bar and in. A perfect shot for David Backes. 2 years he was the captain at Minnesota State, Backes was. And he makes Backstrom and the Minnesota Wild pay right there.
His 7th of the year and the 9th goal in his career against the Minnesota Wild on a crazy play that really led to a 2-on-0.
One step slower by Berglund coming off the bench, and it doesn't happen. That's the timing of the game, the breaks in the game. Obviously, Minnesota didn't see that. They likely thought by the reaction of the players that that puck was out of the zone as really Oshie fanned on it. And then you see Suter just tries to get it out of the zone, but Berglund had hopped onto the ice. The late man, they didn't see him.
And Darren, looking at that replay, was it Oshie's stick that tipped it and held it in? It was hard to say, but it definitely was tipped before Backes and Berglund got to it. So Backes ties it at 14-27.
Well, there's no question that the pressure, after Oshie had lost control of the puck against Suter, that he put some pressure on Suter, kind of got his stick in the way, that forced Suter to fan on that.
And Darren, this goal came after a sequence of good pressure by the Wild for about 4 minutes.
Well, Jake Allen's with the star of this game. There is no doubt about that.
Now Butler back for the Blues. Tipped along by Jack, but here come the Blues. Laterra out of the reach of Tarasenko. Now off the boards for Parise. Lobbed it ahead to Granlund. He comes in, a shot off Jackman's leg. Now Mikael Granlund again. It is knocked down by Jackman. Tarasenko up the wall, kept in. Shot tipped by Niederreiter, and that goes out of play. And we get a stoppage. 4:41 left in the third period. The Minneapolis native has tied the game.
Well, we talked about the USA line to begin this contest. In their second game together with Oshie on the left wing, Stastny and David Backes. Oshie missed a little bit of time, obviously, with that Scandella shoulder to the jaw. Stastny, 67%. He's been the best guy on the dot for the St. Louis Blues in this game, and David Backes just tied the game up at 2 apiece. Stastny went off the ice. Berglund came on a chain, and it was Berglund that made the play to Backes.
And now Stastny against Brodziak with 4:41 left. Berglund got the only assist on the goal. Backes is 7th, and the faceoff is chipped between the point men and all the way down the ice. And Backstrom sets it up for Jonas Brodin, who is back in the Wild lineup after missing 7 games with the Mumps. Puck played to center ice, and then tipped in by Vanek. Gunnarsson, little stutter step move back of the goal. Good play by Gunnarsson.
Swift little maneuver, wasn't it?
And now it's Oshie. He gets in there first. Comes free to Stastny. And a shot off the glove of Backstrom and almost in behind him. And the Wild with it. Brodziak hard off the boards to center. Stopped by Pietrangelo. But he plays one and Suter gets it back for the Wild. Now for Brodin, back to Suter. Good push here by the Blues in the third period. They've tied the game. Oshie drops it back for Cole. Now Pietrangelo up the wing. That's in deep. Played by Backstrom. And then cut off by Porter. Here's Berglund back of the goal. To the captain, Backes. Then Butler, the shot. Oh, just wide of the goal. That was tipped in front and just wide of the near post. And the Wild have it. Backes on the near side. He pins a Wild player there.
Did a good job of finishing that check on Zucker.
And now moved along by Suter. Home run pass for Coyle off his stick. And he and Cole, good job to get it back to the far corner to Butler. And now Steen a feed. Rink ride for Cole, and he lost the puck, and he goes off on a change. And then Brodin to the corner for Spurgeon.
It's a crafty little play, wasn't it? faked the shot, bought some time, and now the Wild are able to get out of their zone easily.
Under 3 to play here. Jackman cuts Granlund off at the pass. Now Parisi darts in, centers it, off a skate, and knocked away by Laterra. And Alexander Steen to center ice. He comes in. Through a seam now, Laterra. To the point for Jackman. No shot is there. Plays it back of the goal. Bounces around. Laterra gets it. In deep with Tarasenko. Now Laterra gets free. Out of the corner. He looks for Tarasenko. He's covered. Now Pietrangelo shot. And it got through, and a save by Backstrom.
Little momentum change here. The Blues feeling a lot more confident, getting that puck down low, trying to wear down the Minnesota Wild D, and then punting it back to the point as Laterra did there. And Pietrangelo with that shot on goal. Traffic in front. Granlund's trying to, the Finn, trying to cover the Swede. And this is that play before that by Butler. You see on the left side of your screen, it actually goes through the arm and the side of the body of Backstrom and just dribbles by.
And now a face-off controlled by the Blues. Stastny gets it for Gunnarsson. Back to the cage for Oshie in this 2-2 game with 2:05 to go. Now around to Schwartz. Gunnarsson pinches in. And he is wrapped up by Suter. Comes free for Schwartz. And then Gunnarsson knocked down. I believe it's under his body. Schwartz gets it off the boards. Leaves it for Gunnarsson. And a shot well wide of the goal. Comes around to Butler.
Blues are doing a great job of managing the puck here and managing time, putting into safe and smart areas in the offensive zone.
And now Stastny for Oshie. In front. And a shot. Trickles off the pad of Backstrom. Now the puck in front of the goal. Brodziak turns. Hit a Wild player. Kept in. Tipped wide by TJ Oshie. And the Blues are swarming here. Oshie back of the goal. Schwartz to Oshie again. Stops and starts on Brodziak. Knocked down. And then played around and then fired away by Niederreiter. But no icing.
Well, this little change that Ken Hitchcock and Kirk Muller have employed it has worked out with Schwartz up there with Stastny and Oshie. And Backes going with Berglund and Porter on that third line as we manage the stuff going on the ice there. Time now for our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. Zach Parise is a classic funneler of the puck towards the net. Never hesitates to get it there. He's got 12 attempts. And look at Tarasenko. He's got 8. That's a good shot comparison.
Final minute here in regulation. As the Blues attack again. Porter for Backes, who tied the game. Backes trying to get free back of the cage. In tight quarters. Chased by Koivu, now but back of the line, Jackman for Pietrangelo. Lobs it in deep again. Porter wrapped up by Spurgeon. And it's knocked away by Koivu. And with some room, gets it high to center. Coyle can't glove it down. And now Jackman to Porter. And across the red line, and that hit a seam in the glass, comes in front. With 20 seconds left in regulation. Suter to Granlund. Slowed up by Laterra. And then Alexander Steen, a nice little Savardian spinorama. Gets it out to center ice. Played back into Parise. His pass across. And a shot on goal. And a save by Allen. And that'll do it. As Pominville had that last chance. And we will go to overtime. Thanks to David Backes' goal. Sent it alone by Berglund. Tied at 2 after 60. Overtime is brought to you by JimButlerChevrolet.com, St. Louis's top-selling Chevy dealer, because they do the deals the other guys just won't. Jim Butler is the Chevy powerhouse. It is 2-2 after 60 minutes, and Darren, for the third straight game, the Blues go to overtime.
Ottawa, Edmonton, Minnesota. And David Backes, the 6'3", 225-pound power forward, the 62nd overall pick in 2003, and what a pick that was. Ties this game up at 2.
In our Jim Butler Chevrolet.com records, the Blues at OT 4-2, Minnesota, a perfect 3-0. Of course, both teams won in overtime last night. The Blues on a Tarasenko goal and the Wild on a Scandella OT winner. Team switch ends. Well, 4-on-4 hockey.
Growing up, David Backes was a big Mario Lemieux fan. The big right-hander from the province of Quebec. And the kid from Minneapolis goes high glove. Something Mario did many, many times in his career.
Laterra and Tarasenko begin it up front for the Blues. Koivu and Parise for Minnesota as the forwards. Each team has a point. One is up for grabs. Allen hooks one to the corner now for Pietrangelo. To his partner, Jackman. Now worked ahead. Tarasenko off the board. Good play to Laterra. Tarasenko goes to the net. Now Laterra curls, trying to find some open ice. Now Laterra gets away from Brodin. Still with it. Laterra to Tarasenko. Slowed up by Suter. Now to Pietrangelo in front. Laterra turned the wrong way. Now a shot, and that goes wide. And then slammed around by Backstrom. Blues are changing. Schwartz off the bench. Now Jaden Schwartz looks around. Nice play to Laterra. In front of Schwartz behind the defense, but he couldn't get it. Now it's off the boards and then gobbled up by Koivu.
I like Jaden Schwartz's game this evening in Mini. He didn't like his game last night in Edmonton, but he has bounced back with a good one.
Now Suter comes in, passing from Pominville, a shot, and that goes wide on the short side. And then Steen ahead to Schwartz. Alone at center ice, and he goes for a skate. Played back to Gunnarsson, up the middle for Steen. Played back to Schwartz, he's chopped down, and then funneled in by Butler. And Spurgeon a long pass to center ice. Now Pominville into the zone to Granlund, in the circle, leaves it. And now Scandella, last night's overtime hero. He is hit hard by Gunnarsson, who's played a strong game, and Oshie to center, now for Steen. Steen and Oshie into the zone. Steen to Oshie, gets behind the defense and a goal, a shot, oh, and then Oshie hit the goalpost with his head. And hopefully he's all right.
That noggin and the post has had a tough early part of the year. Oshie slammed into the post in Dallas earlier in the year. Missed a little action. Got drilled by the shoulder pad of Scandella in this one. Takes a pass here. Handles it. Gets tripped up as he's finishing up his shot right there. Good save by the goalie, and then goes barreling into the far post. This was the first period that we're talking about there. That is a projectile. That's a shoulder right up to the jaw that the National Hockey League, as we well know and don't have to say, see every hit around.
They moved the face-off to center ice.
Yeah.
I would assume because Oshie knocked the net free.
I would assume.
We both assume, and now the Blues win the face-off.
Assumption is accurate.
Here's Backes. Pietrangelo off his skate, now to Cole, and then walked along by Backes. And he goes wide. Now a move to the inside. Then Suter gets it back for the Wild, and he lobs one the other way. Don't forget Missouri Lottery. Blues Live comes up next here on Fox Sports Midwest. Pat and Bernie back at Ballpark Village. Hope you're all enjoying this wherever you are on this holiday weekend. Tied at 2 in overtime. Cole to center ice. Well, back in a bit now for Backes, and a shot, and that's stopped by Nicholas Backstrom, and no rebound.
Well, we talked about Ryan Suter, the minute-munching defenseman of the Minnesota Wild, and he's at 30:08. His 6th time this year he has surpassed 30 minutes in a game. And Alex Pietrangelo at 28:04. Heavy minutes for the Blues defenseman, with Shattenkirk being ejected in that second period.
Now Laterra gets set on the face-off against Koivu. Tarasenko parked in front of the goal here. In overtime, Koivu wins it. And Marco Scandella with some time. Koivu at center ice. Butler steps up on him. Nice job by Butler. And it goes deep in the Wild zone again.
Butler's playing some great hockey on the blue line. Dad, a former Boston Bruin draft pick.
Now that pass was a soft one picked off by Tarasenko. Of course, he has scored both Blues overtime winners this year in Dallas and last night.
Yeah, I'd say play him 4-on-4. He's pretty good at it.
Here he comes. Drop pass. Laterra in front. The shot. Oh, he just missed. Back against the grain. And the Wild hop on it. Parise comes in. Butler, a great stick there to break it up. And now Koivu drops it off. Suter the shot. And that hits something, goes wide.
No way Allen could see that.
And then Laterra will knock it back on the goal. Now reverse for Laterra, who almost ended the game at the other end. Slowly to center ice, back to Gunnarsson. Now on the wing for Oshie. And he dangles into the zone. Oshie off the boards. Here's Jackman, a shot. And a stick save by Backstrom. To the corner. Now Berglund a drive off the pad of Backstrom. Then the puck goes to the Wild and Brodin. Stolen by Oshie. And it barely trickles to center ice.
Berglund trying to catch Backstrom by surprise there with Backstrom doing that reverse VH. Didn't squeak through.
And Berglund comes in again in the final minute of overtime. Oshie across. Now Pietrangelo. Nice little short pass for Oshie. And then wristed all the way back on the goal. Berglund gets away from his man. And now it's checked and Suter gets it back for the Wild. Half a minute left in overtime. Now Brodin on to Pominville. And the longtime Sabre can't get through the Blues defense. And a good stick there by Schwartz, and it goes out of play.
Barrett Jackman wants that outside. The referee's pointing to the inside. Obviously, they felt that it went off of the stick of Jaden Schwartz last. Still time here. Important face-off for the Blues. 21 seconds left. Outshot 38-26. Gunnarsson's been strong. Jackman battling through a number of different ailments. And he'll go for a little change right here. Is there a timeout being called? I think so.
And there is a timeout called coming up tonight on Fox Sports Live. It's rivalry week in college football, and we have highlights from across the country. We had an upset that will shake up the college football playoff. Our experts tell you how, plus action from the NBA and NHL, college basketball, and MLS playoffs. All tonight on Fox Sports Live.
Well, while Mike Joe diagrams on the whiteboard what Zach Parise and Ryan Suter want to do on the offensive faceoff, the Blues go back and discuss what they're going to do, win or loss on the faceoff, and where your responsibilities are.
It'll be Backes against Koivu. Koivu and Parise up front here. And over 19,000 on their feet here. Koivu wins it back. Suter. And a great stick by Backes to break it up. What a job by the captain.
Great job by Backes. I'm still not sure why Suter painted himself into a corner there.
Now a pass ahead to Steen with 5 to go. Steen comes in, gets loose, and a shot off the inboards, wide to the goal. And now Steen in front. And wide as Steen somehow got loose with about 5 seconds left.
Holy jumping, what an effort. First effort, second effort. Puck stays on his stick and he's got a chance to win it. Rifles it wide on the stick side. Lost it at first, got it back, 1-on-2. Pushes it wide. Ends up coming back to him again. And he gets a chance. Jake Allen's only allowed 1 on 5 shots in his shootout career. Faced far more shots, Backstrom 80. Goals allowed on 182 shots.
And the shootout is brought to you by JimButlerChevrolet.com. Jim Butler is the Chevy powerhouse. Minnesota, as the home team, gets the option, and they elect to shoot first. The Wild in the shootout 1-0. The Blues are 2-2 in the shootout. Blues outshot the Wild 4-0 in overtime. So Parise will shoot first for the Wild. He had their second goal, 44% in his career. Zach Parise right up the middle against Allen. Here he comes. And he lost the puck, and Allen got a stick down.
Yes, he did. Went to take that forehand and then backhand and maybe quickly take it again, but it rolled right off his blade. You have to wonder about the thought of not doing a dry scrape for the shootout. These guys are having a hard time handling that puck.
And because they don't, it's a lot harder to make a move in deep.
Absolutely.
Oshie, the first shooter for the Blues. Rather deliberately. Here he comes. Fakes it. And a save by Backstrom.
Oshie's got to be putting a lot of pressure on himself. Long before he went to Sochi and represented the USA, he's been brilliant at the shootout. But again, I reiterate, with that no scrape like that, these players lose the handle at the last second. He never had complete control when he went to make his move.
Koivu, 43% in his career. Quickly up the middle. Mikko Koivu. And what a glove save by Jake Allen.
Great play by Allen. The old forehand, backhand, trying to hoist it over. Koivu goes there, but the glove position of Jake Allen smothers it. Very similar to what Backstrom just did on TJ Oshie. The angle of the glove there. Wow, I never could make a save like that in my life with the way that he positioned his glove.
Alexander Steen, no goal so far in the shootout. Here comes Steen, he goes wide. In on goal, and a right pass save by Backstrom.
Backstrom has good legs, very flexible, even with all the hip surgeries that he's had, and he was able to reach back with his right leg, focus on his right leg. Steen goes backhand, forehand, and a good save.
Jason Pominville, 36%. The Wild's third shooter. Here he comes. And Allen makes the stick save, and now the Blues with a chance to win the game.
And why wouldn't Vladdy Tarasenko hop onto the ice?
He had the shootout winner in New York earlier.
Well, I like when Tarasenko brings this back into his feet and rifles it about 14 inches above the ice on the stick side.
Yeah, his best move is a fake shot, low blocker. Tarasenko could win it. Here he comes. Fakes it, lets it go. He scores! Tarasenko does it again. And the Blues win the shootout.
And Tarasenko goes right to the goaltender. That's what this kid's all about. It wasn't about Tarasenko winning it in the shootout. He points right to the goaltender, Jake Allen, and says, thank you. Because Jake Allen was absolutely outstanding in this road victory in the shootout.
And Vladdy Tarasenko with a goal and a shootout winning goal.
And because Tarasenko pointed to number 34, Jake Allen gets our Bud Light Player of the Game with this brilliant performance in back-to-back nights. He wins last night against Edmonton, but this one here was of a lot more quality against him, and he kept the Blues afloat. What a shot by Tarasenko to the stick side.
That was the winner. 3-2, the good guys win it in Minnesota.